guys, welcome to 678 Live. Just a couple rules before we get started. First of all, rule number 1, text your friends, get them in here. Maybe it's a friend who's never been to 678 before or been on 678 Live. Text them and invite them. Check out that chat. Do you not see all your group members here? Get them here. Text in your group chat right now and tell them it's starting. One final rule. During Rothen's teaching, make sure that you're not using the chat. It could be very distracting, and we want to make sure that we hear all that good stuff.
Oh my gosh, it's Quarantine Cribs. Come in.
Welcome to 678 Quarantine Cribs. I'm coming to you live from Aurora, Ohio. I'm staying with my parents and quarantining with them because I thought that was better than being alone in my small apartment with my cat. So let's go in.
All right, guys, welcome to my quarantine crib. Follow me inside. Come on. Come check out my crib. These are my pups. This is Rolly. That's Raina. Rolly loves everyone, and Raina hates everyone. So that's how that works.
All right, guys, let's check out my rats. I actually have 2, but I'm not currently seeing the second one, which is weird. Yeah, I'm not seeing him anywhere, so probably should go find her somewhere. That's not good. I'll be right back.
All right, so here's the kitchen. There's my dog. There's Doogie. Doogie's down there. Here's our living room. Oh, who's that? Who's that guy? I'm gonna take you upstairs to where I've been hanging out.
Come over here. You'll see my basement steps. We like to call these the danger zone because they're super, super steep. The one thing that we're gonna have a lot of our books. We have books here. We have books over there in that one. We have books in other rooms. We have books in the basement. And I know what you're thinking. There's a lot of books in here. And yes, I've read every single one.
All right, guys, so not good because I'm not seeing my rat anywhere. She's gray and white. Her name's Mosley. If you see her at any point, let me know because I'm probably going to get in trouble for losing my rat in the house. Now it's time for the next part of the tour. This is where my shoe collection comes in, which is a little embarrassing because I definitely have way too many pairs that I need to get rid of. Here's my obsession, which is terrible because of how many I have. But one thing I am proud of is my Croc Inverted socks because, I mean, they're great. And here are all my other ones with my shoe boxes. And there's my Mosley, what are you doing? I told you to stop trying to wear my shoes all the time.
So here's the loft where I've been hanging out, kind of set up a little makeshift office. This is where I've been FaceTiming you guys from and calling you and leaders and stuff like that. Watching one of my favorite things, turtle racing. I know what your biggest concern about me has been through this quarantine is Devin keeping up with her makeup game? And the answer, of course, is yes. This is not my full makeup collection, but just the ones I chose to bring into quarantine with me.
Just take you up to my room. This light is burnt out, so we can't really see the hallway at night. You just gotta know your surroundings really well for that. Do a lot of my Zoom calls here, a lot of my meetings. We've got our turtles. They should look familiar, featured in a turtle race. This is the one who won. And this is the one who we're always not quite sure about if he's alive. Okay, today, we're just gonna put him back down.
So it's good that I finally found my rat because that could have been really bad. But now I'm gonna hop into my mini fridge and see what I got stocked in there. So I'm always really good about making sure I have a good stock in here. So I bet I have something good to get to drink. So I guess I'm just gonna take that.
And here's my crib, my college crib. It's pretty awesome. Over here, got all my posters on the wall, mostly Marvel stuff. I got my desk where I do work. I actually made this ornament, which is really cool. Mix people, the golden foot. This is what you were supposed to win at the Bigfoot games at Mix, but we forgot them. So now me and Dylan each have one, which is pretty cool. Here are my Funko Pops. Shout out to Isaac, who also collects Funko Pops. Hit me up in the chat, let me know if you collect Funko Pops, tell me which ones you got. As you can see, a little more superhero right here. Spider-Man mug, gifted to me by Devin. We got my comics and my books, my movies, my video games down here. Let me know where my video game people are at. This is our to-do list. As you can see, we've done a lot of those things. Over this way,
We got the office. This is where we get some work done. That printer doesn't work, but that's where it goes.
Now here's the last part of my room. This is one of my favorite parts because this is where I do my work and homework and reading and all that. So let's check out my desk area. So over here we have all my stuff. This box is actually really cool. It's all the stuff that Jackie, my girlfriend's given me over the past like 4 years, which is really awesome. That's her. She's absolutely beautiful, by the way. You might be wondering, why is there a golden foot right here? This golden foot was actually supposed to be a prize at Mix, but me and Sam forgot to bring it. So now it's on my desk. This is my prayer box, which I put all my prayers into. Got my work computer there. This is supposed to be a bamboo plant, but I found out it's actually not a bamboo plant, which is very misleading. Got my mugs, you know, for my tea and coffee. Then I got my Bible and reading stuff, because, you know, you gotta stay read up. And then I got all my posters on the wall.
Yeah, I've been doing some workouts down here, but the most fun thing about my parents' basement is that the ceilings are high enough that we have our cornhole boards down here.
The joys of living in an attic, you know, I can just hang out, chill out near the roof. I don't go on the roof because I'm kind of clumsy. I'd probably fall off of it, but you know, when I need some fresh air, it's nice to chill out here. Actually, a hawk landed right here on this one time, and it freaked me out. So I don't really like to keep this window open all that often, but you know, sometimes in the hot attic, you sort of just need a breath of fresh air.
This is our kitchen. As you can see, we got some weddings going on. I have some pictures with my beautiful wife, Lamaru. Also, at one point in time, we had some 678 students just show up at our house, and they just wrote their name on this. And so after this whole quarantine season, if you just want to show up at our house, you can mark on this as well. That's for you. And so we have mugs from a bunch of different states, like California, New York, Florida, Tennessee. But we also have mugs from Paris, Puerto Vallarta, so that's Mexico. Well, that's pretty much the house, but there's one room that's my favorite room that I'm gonna show you guys. Come follow me.
I'm actually in my dad's garage. I don't think I'm supposed to be in. Where he keeps his four-wheeler and his lawnmower, and he keeps his Corvette in here. I'll be in so much trouble if he comes home right now. I just uncovered it a little bit. Give you a little peek at the Corvette.
This is my favorite room in the house. This is the theater room that my friend Patrick and I built. We got the projector. We've got the screen. We've got the seats that recline and massage.
So there you have it, guys. This is my crib. Can't wait to see your quarantine crib.
What's up, 678? My name is Reagan, and I am a leader at the Upper Arlington campus. For this week's Two Truths and a Lie, I'm gonna let you guys know that I played college lacrosse. I've had 7 surgeries, and I am an ER nurse.
As you all know, I'm a big performer, so of course, when I was younger, I was a performer in a circus. The next thing, despite these amazing good looks, I'm actually 40 years old. And then finally, something I like to do, travel, and I also like to skydive in different areas, so I also do that. So good luck with it. Talk to you later.
I broke my wrist when I was 10. I summited a mountain out west, and I lived in a foreign country when I was little.
All right, guys, we've been FaceTiming a few of you throughout the week for on-the-spot challenges. Let's see if this week's contestants could get it done in time.
Okay, here's how it works. I'm gonna give you guys a subject. I'm gonna count you down from 3. You guys have to yell the same answer. If you get it right, you win. If you get it wrong, you have to do a challenge. You're gonna name the best Pokemon.
The best Pokemon.
The best Pokemon.
I don't know Pokemon.
Well, you better yell something. 3, 2, 1.
Pikachu.
Okay, Leland, you said Pikachu, and Kyle, you said
Dragon.
Dragon. Awesome. Well, you failed. So
Kyle.
now you both have to do a cartwheel. Ready?
Cartwheel?
Go.
A cartwheel.
Incredible. Leland, now you have to do it.
Oh, did you see that?
Incredible.
All right, pizza topping. 3, 2, 1, answer.
Pepperoni.
What did you say?
I said pepperoni.
You both did?
You said it.
You both did? You won!
Ice cream flavor.
Oh,
3, 2, 1, go.
cookie dough. Chocolate.
Oh, okay. So, my challenge for you guys is to sing the chorus of Country Roads Take Me Home in sync with each other.
Country road, take me home to the place where I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
Favorite candy. 3, 2, 1, go.
Reese's peanut butter.
So now that you lost, all 3 of you have to do the chicken dance at the same time.
Okay, you ready? Favorite clothing brand. 3, 2, 1.
Nike.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good work. Good work. You guys got that
A
one.
little louder.
You guys got that one.
Emmy and Ella, your question is, what is your favorite pizza topping? I'm gonna count down. 3, 2, 1.
Pepperoni.
Boom, there it was. What is your favorite color? I'm gonna count down. 3, 2, 1.
Blue. Orange.
Oof. I need both of you to go and find a right shoe and take the shoelaces out of it. Ready, go.
Crap.
I see a shoe in Blaine's hand. I don't know what's happening with you, Ryder.
Stop. I'm busy. I'm trying to do something. I'm doing a video for church.
I don't know, Blaine. It looks like, oh, done. I need proof that it's the right shoe.
I think it's alright.
It better be.
He put a freaking knot.
Oh, it's the right shoe. Ryder, you win. Sorry, Blaine.
Hey 678ers, I hope you had an awesome Easter last weekend. I hope that you were able to spend time with family in whatever creative way you came up to do that. And I really hope that you were able to connect with the 678 student video that we had put out for you guys. But what we're gonna do today is we're gonna finish the Undefeated series that we started a couple of weeks ago. And before we do that, I wanna ask you a question. How many of you hate when things end? Right? Like you get really attached to people or programs or circumstances, and when those things end, it's a hard time for you. I mean, I can think of a million times that I've struggled with things ending, but there is one in particular that stands out to me, and it has to do with Harry Potter. Of course, because I'm a nerd and I'm obsessed with it. But when I was in middle school, I started reading the series. When I got through high school, I finished reading the series, and then the movies were coming out, and I remember going to the movie premieres, and I'm not joking, you can make fun of me. I would be one of those weird people dressed up like in a cloak and with a wand. I dueled someone at the Marcus IMAX theater in front of, I don't know, hundreds of people. I mean, it was sold out and in front of so many people. You can actually find that video somewhere on the internet if you are so determined to do so. But like I said, I was obsessed. And I remember as it was getting closer and closer and every next movie was coming out, and soon it was just going to be the truth that it was over. That the movies were all going to have come out, the books already came out, and I remember going to that last movie, and I'm not joking when I tell you this, I cried. I didn't just cry because half the characters die in that movie if you haven't seen it. No, but because it was all over and it was like this place that I felt connected to and these people that I felt like almost we were friends were gone. And here's what I know. We experience things ending all of the time. Like for you, maybe you were on a soccer team that you loved and you guys had a great season, or maybe you played for a couple of years, but now you're moving to a new team and things are ending and it just feels weird and you know you're not going to be able to spend the kind of time that you have been spending with some of your friends. Maybe you were in a play. Man, I was in so many plays growing up, and the connections you can make with your cast and the people that are all a part of that are so strong and so fun, and then the play's over and things just feel a little bit different. I mean, I know this. Maybe when some of you, when you heard that school was going to be ended and you guys were going to have an extended spring break, you were pumped. And now you're at home and you're just so bummed that it ended. And you're so bummed that this time that you could be spending with your friends has ended and you're not able to do that anymore. I know that sometimes when things end, there can be some real heavy emotions attached to it. Like when your parents maybe sit you down and say that they're going to separate and their marriage is ending, and there's just a heavy emotional weight to that. Maybe there's friends that you've been best friends with and there was a fight or there was some drama in the friendship, and there's this person that you really care about and now they don't want to spend time with you. Now that friendship is over. Maybe there was a loved one, a family friend or a relative who got really, really sick and they passed away. And it just felt like this end that you didn't like, that you wouldn't have voted for, but that you had to experience. And here's what's true. Everyone who's been born has to face the same ending, death. And talking about endings is sad, but talking about death, that's a whole nother level. It's kind of like this. It makes me think of a balloon. I don't know about you guys, but my parents, every year for my birthday, would put this big sign out in my yard and would tie these balloons up to the mailbox. And I remember the first day I would see it, those balloons would be full of air and they'd be held up by the helium and everyone could tell it was my birthday. And we would leave those balloons out there for like a week, and every next day that balloon would be a little bit smaller and would be floating a little bit lower, and then the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. And then eventually it was like, is there any air left in that balloon? That balloon is gone. That balloon will never fly again. It's time to throw away the balloon. And I think that sometimes we think about death that way. That we start life and we live and we have all this excitement and energy and fun, and that slowly over time we kind of lose all those things until there's no life in us anymore and we die, and that's it. But what if I told you there was another way to think about death? Whether you've experienced loss in a really significant way, or maybe you really haven't had a lot of experience with it, what if I could tell you there was another way to look at death? Something that could give you comfort and confidence when you think about death. Something that happened thousands of years ago when Jesus died and rose again. Now, like I say all of the time, if we have questions about life, questions about how we should live our life, questions about God, questions even about death, the place we should go is the Bible. Why? Because the Bible has the answers. And lucky for us, the Bible actually speaks a ton about death. But we're going to look at a passage today in the book of 1 Corinthians. It's funny because we call it a book now, but when it was originally written, it wasn't written to be a book, it was written to be a letter. See, Paul, who we've talked about a bunch, he was writing a letter to people who believed in God in a town called Corinth. And so the part that we're going to read today is Paul reminding and encouraging those believers in Corinth of Easter, that Jesus died for our sins, was buried, and then he raised to life again 3 days later. And what we call that is resurrection. When Jesus came back to life, that's called resurrection. And that means that he was dead and then he was alive. And in that simple fact, Jesus changed the game when it comes to death for us. Because now death doesn't have to be the scary ending anymore. See, when Jesus defeated sin, he also defeated death, which gives us new life. So let's read what Paul had to say to those believers living in Corinth. It says this in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, starting to read in verse 54. It says this: "Then, when our dying bodies have been transformed into bodies that will never die, this scripture will be fulfilled. Death is swallowed up in victory. O death, where is your victory? O death, where is your sting? For sin is the sting that results in death, and the law gives sin its power. But thank God, He gives us victory over sin and death through our Lord Jesus Christ." Now there's a ton to unpack there, but there's one thing I want us to see and know, and it's this: because of Jesus, death is defeated. Now, Paul said that because of Jesus, our bodies, our dying bodies, have been transformed into what? Bodies that never die. Now, that doesn't mean that you won't ever die. Paul also said that because of Jesus, our dying bodies, the one that we're walking around with right now, has been transformed. Transformed into what? Bodies that never die. And I don't mean this. I don't mean that we're all going to become superheroes that are like invincible and can stop a bullet or can jump off of a building and not die. No, what I am saying is our bodies now no longer have to fear that death is its end. Paul said in that passage that because of Jesus, our bodies have been transformed. Our dying bodies have been transformed into bodies that never die. Now, I don't mean this. I don't mean that we're going to go around living forever here on earth like superheroes who are invincible. But what I do mean is our bodies aren't going to be destroyed. We as people aren't going to be destroyed by death. Death no longer gets the final word in our lives. And when you believe in Jesus, you invite the God who defeated death into your life. And when you do that, you don't have to worry about what happens next. Our physical bodies will die, but that's not the end for us. There is heaven that goes on forever. There's hope. Because of Jesus, death is defeated. So what does that mean for us? When we think about our life and when we think about death, we can have comfort and confidence in knowing that that's not the end. That's what we celebrated last week with Easter. See, Jesus defeated sin and death. And because He loves us so much, He gave us the ability to experience that same victory over sin, and even victory over death through our faith in Him. I want us to look at one other thing that Paul said. It's in the book of Romans, chapter 8, it's verse 11. It says this: "The Spirit of God who raised Jesus from the dead lives in you. And just as God raised Christ Jesus from the dead, He will give life to your mortal bodies by the same Spirit living within you." If you believe in Jesus, then the same Spirit that raised Him from the dead, that gave Him power over death, lives inside of you. You are walking around with that power right now. I don't know about you, but that makes me feel like I can face anything that the world throws at me. And if you're a believer, man, I hope that gives you the same encouragement too. Maybe for some of you though, as you're hearing this, you're thinking, maybe I should really look into this faith thing. Maybe as you hear this, you think, I want that. If that's on the table, if that's what's offered, I want to know more about it. If that's you right now, will you just put a question mark in the chat? And then one of our hosts will reach out to you and we'll have a private conversation with you, and we will help you understand and begin a relationship with Jesus. Maybe for some of you, you're like, I think I have this. I think I know that this is true. I think I believe this. And if you're just a little bit uncertain, can I say this? If you have a small group leader, talk to them about it. Shoot him a text, maybe even right now, to say, hey, can we talk about this sometime this week? If you don't have a small group leader, tell us. We would love to get you connected to a person where you can ask these questions to. A person who can help you understand things about God, who can answer your questions, who can help you access this victory over death that Jesus has given us. I want you to remember that because of Jesus, death is defeated. I want you guys to go into your Google Hangouts, connect, talk about this. Here's the one question I want you guys to kind of go through together. It's this: how does it make you feel to know that you can have a guaranteed new and forever life today? Go into your Google Hangouts and then hang out with us again next Sunday as we go live again. And then don't forget, follow us on Instagram. If you don't have an Instagram account, have your parents follow us so you can stay up to date with what we're throwing at you every single day.